Sons of kings. Sons of kings.
Bless you, brother.
King.
And what is our destiny? To be in this truth. Be in this truth and to make it to the end. As it is written, to finish the work. Like Yahweh Shai said. Have finished the work. You know? The Apostle Paul said the same thing. Henceforth I know there's a crown of righteousness that is laid up for me. Okay, that is our destiny.
For you, the ministers of our God, ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in that glory shall ye boast yourselves. For your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land they shall possess the double, everlasting joy shall be unto them. By the Lord of judgment, I hate robbery for burnt offering, and I will direct their work in truth, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them, and their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring among the people. All that see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed which the hath blessed. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my God. For he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation, he hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels. For as the earth bringeth forth her bud, and as the garden causeth the things that are sown in it to spring forth, so the Lord God will cause righteousness and praise to spring forth before all the nations.
Sons of kings. Sons of king.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. What I want to get into, all right, with this lesson, going into the relentless tyrant, which is Esau Edom, and this devil, he's so wicked, within his kingdom, no matter how much, that the devil has, he can never have enough, and on the flip side, no matter how much people suffering, he can never stop taking. This man is an absolutely, wicked madman that's in power. All right. And he's a very unmerciful man. And this man gets a pleasure, okay, in seeing suffering of the people. That's why he loves, generational poverty, man. He loves keeping people impoverished. He loves, having people depend on him and intentionally disappoint them, man. This is a sick nigga that's in power, man. And this nigga is wicked, and this nigga relentless in his wickedness, man. Okay? That's why the scripture describes this, man. Let's go here and come back to this precept. But let's get this one, man. Okay? The scripture describes this devil. Okay? When you go to the book of Proverbs 28 and 15, it says, as a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the people, man. Okay? Over the poor people, okay? Over the poor people, man. This man has an economy that intentionally keep people poor so he can prey on them. Because the poor, because what comes from poverty? Desperation. Okay, and you have something called what predatory capitalism in this man's system, man, to where he capitalized off people being vulnerable. All right, he creates systems where people are just perpetually poor, to where they're vulnerable, and he can just prey on them. This man is absolutely wicked. The way this man runs the earth, man. Okay, he is the problem of the earth. You see, and on the flip side, the devil, he's able to shower people with convenience and distractions. Okay, people are enslaved to their lust, and he showers them, with easy access to lust. So people are so, enchanted, with lust and convenience that they don't realize how wicked this system is, man. Okay, how this man constantly rigs the game. The game is already rigged, and he constantly finding more ways to just rig the game, man, and bring hell on the masses, man. And we're just calling it out. All right. Now for the elect, all right, the Lord, is a buffer between us and this devil to where he just doesn't have his way. But to a lot of people, to a lot of you people, all right, you're proud, and the Lord is just giving, all right, you people over, all right, to this goddamn raging bear, man. Okay? It says the prince, verse 16, the prince that wanted understanding is also a great oppressor. And this man lacks understanding and ruling and righteousness, man. He don't got it. The qualities of a ruler, Esau don't got it. Okay, this man rulership consists of organized chaos. Okay, and when you really, as things are coming out, man, and you really see how the devil runs the earth, man. This devil has the earth in the shit show, man. That's why things are imploding on him, because he got so much wickedness going on, so much tackiness going on, man. There's a lot of tackiness in the way that this man runs the earth, man. Okay, but since he has, these systems of convenience and things are efficient, and you people, you know, uh, they relate that to the devil, to people. It seems that this devil got everything on point, but really it's just organized chaos, man. Okay, even his concept of efficiency, okay, like the concept of how he ships things, and traffic as far as transportation, the transportation of goods is called just-in-time shipping. So the slightest disruption to his shipping, because he does just-in-time shipping because it saves him money, not because it's best for the consumer. Okay, it's best for the masses, but no, it saves him money in his profit. So just-in-time consuming benefits his profits. Okay, but it's very fragile the way that this man got shipping and transportation and particular things set up, man. You know, but this devil, man, he creates a system to where he's a great oppressor. And he gets off on it. It says the prince that wanted understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days, man. And that's one of the things about this captivity, because this is a learning experience for us, man. You know, as the Lord has put, his people at the tail of this kingdom, because whatever, the people of these other heathens, they suffer in this kingdom, you know, Israelites have suffered more. The tribes have no one has suffered more than the tribes in this system, man. You know, so what this man does to the masses, we get it the worst. All right, and the Lord put us in that predicament for a learning experience, man. We're learning how not to be as a ruler, man. We're seeing the results firsthand of a wicked ruler. We're ground level to see the results of a wicked ruler, the effects of a wicked ruler, man. Okay, and what it does to the people, what it does to the earth, you know. So we're ground zero, so we can see how not to be when we get in power, man. Okay, and that's why as we get to that point to where the lesson learned, the Lord is getting ready to wrap this nigga up, man. Okay, because this nigga here, man, like he gets off on oppressing the poor. Let's go here. Let's get this in the book of Proverbs. I think that's 4. All right, and 16. Okay, it says, "For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall, man. So this man is all about mischief, man. He's all about finding new ways to oppress people, new ways to poison people, new ways to make people suffer, new ways to disappoint people, new ways to cause division amongst people, break up homes, break up families, destroy the children, destroy the women. All right, beat down the men. Okay, this is what the devil is all about. Okay, as I said, their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. Okay, this devil gets off on this, man. He loves people in these dire. He loves to have people in these dire situations, man. This is a sick nigga that runs the earth, man. Okay, and the earth has an Edomite problem. Okay, but here it is. You have our people, simple as hell. Their main gripe on the internet is men teaching the Bible. Okay, Jake, so-called black men, so-called Latinos, Native Americans teaching the Bible is the problem of the planet Earth. That needs to be addressed. Okay, but the way that this man runs the earth, nothing needs to be done. All right, and that's why the Lord is finna give you niggas over more and more to Esau, man. Okay, the Lord is finna let Esau really have his way with the masses, man. You tribes, man. Okay, now you go here to Isaiah 14:6. It says, I started verse 5. It said, the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers, man, because the Lord is not going to allow the devil to keep ruling the earth in this fashion, man. We serve a merciful power, okay? The Lord ain't finna keep letting the devil, just rule the earth in this fashion, man, destroying the earth and everything, every living thing in it, man. Man, this man is just destroying life, okay? As if this devil was continuing to rule, the earth would be uninhabitable, man. Okay, it said the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He smote the people in a wrath with a continuous stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered, man. And this is the devil. All right, this devil ruled the nations in anger. Okay, and none persecuted because no one can stop this man from ruling the way he rules the earth, except the Most High. That's why it's going to take Yahweh Shai coming back. All right, to overthrow this man. Okay, because this devil will keep going. All right, he's relentless. That's why when you go into this word, we'll get it. It's Isaiah 14:6. It says, you struck the people with endless blows of rage and held the nations in your angry grip with unrelenting tyranny. Okay, with unrelenting tyranny, man. This is how the man rules the earth. Okay, with endless blows, man. It's just one thing after another, man. He come up with this new scheme, this new way to oppress us, just one after another. It's like blow after blow, man. It's like someone that's defeated, beaten down, man. He's just standing on top of them, blow after blow, man. Okay, that's how this man rules the earth with just unrelenting tyranny, man. Okay, and this devil pissed because he don't have that birthright, man. That's the source of this devil's anger that this devil don't have that birthright, man. Okay, and they take it out on the planet Earth. You see, so when you go to this word real quick, look at this word relentless. All right, so when you go into this word relentless, I got a video. Okay, and you people, you vote for this man, and all right, you make excuses for this devil, man. And it's a very toxic relationship that Esau has with people. Okay, it's a very toxic relationship that he has with the people of the earth, man. All right, and you people, all right, you love the convenience and the nightlife and partying, and you can buffet on your lust, okay, as much as you want, okay. You love the clout, the social media, you love that part of it, okay. But here it is when it comes to the essentials of life, man. This man treats you worse and worse by the year. Okay, he's relentless. Okay, with the oppression, man. All right, he said relentless describes something that is harsh, unforgiving, and never stops, or someone who is unyieldingly, all right, determined and refuses to give up. It signifies consistent intensity or persistent, man. Okay, and this man is constant, all right, in his intensity and his persistent in oppression, man. Unforgiving, it never stops. Something that is harsh, unforgiving, it never stops. Okay, and that's all I could think about when I was watching this video dealing with how he's doing with the housing market, man, with living in general. People are being priced out of the ability to just live in the earth, to exist in the earth, man. Okay, that's why unaliving people, unaliving themselves is going up, man, because this man makes it to where you can't afford to exist, man. How wicked is this nigga, man? Okay, I'm gonna read this again and we'll segue to the video. It said, relentless describes something that is harsh, unforgiving, and never stops, or someone who is unyieldingly determined and refuses to give up, man. And this is why the Lord has to intervene to stop this man. All right, this is why Yahweh Shai is coming to wage war. Okay, this is why Yahweh Shai is coming to wage war, man, because this man will not stop. Okay, this nigga will keep going, man, till there is nothing left. You know, no flesh will make it. This man was to keep going. So let's go here. Let's watch this little video here. Okay, and just look at, just how relentless this nigga is when it comes to oppressing the masses, man. All right, the hell this nigga doing?
Y'all, so why I go to my leasing office today to renew my lease, and they was telling me how my rent is going to increase by like $600.
Ever wonder how much it costs to live in a camper? It's not as cheap as you might think.
And I do love this house. I love everything about this house. I've come to the realization that I can't stay here because I can't afford to.
I live full-time in an RV, and we're trying to get a new RV, and they're just super expensive.
Call it a mobile home, call it a trailer, but either way, we're buying one.
People are buying storage sheds from Home Depot and converting them into homes. The billionaires have already bought those too.
I just got our rent renewal, and it's going up by $300 a month. $300 for a one-bedroom apartment that is not updated in any sort of way. We already pay, with all the fees and everything, $2,000 a month, and now we're going to be paying $2,300 a month for this tiny apartment.
22.6 million renters in the U.S. are now cost burdened, meaning they're spending more than 30% of their income just on housing and utilities. People are working 40, 50 hours a week, but half their paycheck is gone before they've even bought groceries, gas, or had any fun. So naturally, people start thinking, why am I paying someone else's mortgage? I should just buy a house. And that's where the next trap lies. The median single-family home hit over $400,000 in 2024. That's 5 times the median household income. To afford the monthly mortgage payment on that home, you need to earn at least $126,000 a year. Out of the 46 million people who rent in the US, only 6 million of those people make that amount of money each year. That means mathematically, 87% of renters will never own a home.
So I was just out on a walk right now, and check out these homes next to this path that I'm on. I was looking these homes up on Zillow, and you're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $615, $625, $650 for these really tiny houses. I mean, they're not very big. You can see the properties they're sitting on are tiny, and yet people want $650,000 for these homes at what, 6.25% interest rates? No wonder nobody can afford anything.
According to NBC, in Q2 of 2025, investors bought 1/3 of all single-family homes sold. 1/3 of homes in a 3-month period. And now they're not just buying homes, they're building entire neighborhoods that you can never own. These are called built-to-rent communities. They look like your average subdivision, houses, driveways, backyards, but every single home is rental only. Built to rent now accounts for 9% of all new single-family construction in the US. Companies like Tricon, which is part of Blackstone's real estate portfolio, are building these in Texas, Arizona, South Carolina. Look at this, a 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, 1,900 square feet in Texas with fees comes out to $2,911 a month. They've got the cheap vinyl flooring, bathroom tile from the early 2000s, and a backyard the size of a shoebox. All for the low price of $3,000 a month. Their idea of solving the housing crisis is you will never own a house. You will rent a house instead of an apartment, but each year they'll still increase your rent.
And they plan, in their mind, in the New World Order, they're going to rent your life to you. With their programmable money, they're just going to rent your life to you. There will be no ownership in the New World Order. All right, there'll be no homesteading, there'll be no private farming. Okay, everything that you consume will be you will get it on a permission basis. Okay, everything that you consume. All right, and this is what these devils, plan on rolling out. All right, and they're just conditioning the people to you getting used to not owning anything, man. Okay, because now we are to this generation that's in college, they can forget about ownership. Okay, these young adults, um they have an economy also called the childless economy. Okay, to where you got two income, childless adults, a man and woman. Okay, two income childless adults, man. Okay, that's a new thing. Why? Because they can't afford anything. They can barely afford for them to exist. So this man has something called the childless economy, man. This man is completely wicked. Okay, and this nigga just thinking of new wickedness to do all the time. This is what this devil is on, man. Okay, but this is what the American dream has come to. Okay, to where you people cannot afford to exist, and it's gonna get worse. All right, and America, what is known for being proud. Okay, you haven't cared about what your government has done when it has weaponized the dollar to turn these nations into third worlds. Okay, where it's constantly in conflict with these poor nations. All right, keeping them destabilized, war torn. All right, places for XEX trafficking. Okay, you Americans haven't cared. You cheered on your government. You voted for this government. Okay, you celebrate every 4th of July. Okay, now the Lord is bringing the suffering to this place, and it's gonna get way worse, man. Okay, it's gonna get way worse. So let's play some more.
Well, I can't afford my house anymore. My mortgage just went up. When I first purchased this house, it was $169,000. And with all of the insurance and stuff added in, my monthly payment was $14.50 a month. Then my mortgage goes up and they say, oh, the cost of materials have gone up. So in case anything happens to your house, we'd have to rebuild it. So the insurance has gone up. And then the value of the property went up. My payment went from $14.50 to $17.40. My mortgage is now $2,500 a month. So it went from $14.50 to now $2,500.
Mortgages are on the rise. Property taxes keep going up. I mean, look at this house in New Jersey. 2-bedroom, 1-bath starter home hasn't been updated. $750,000. Let's look at the property taxes. They jumped 93% from 2024 to 2025. The property tax bill is now over $20,000. The insanity that used to be a down payment. After rent, utilities, car payment, and every other bill, how is anyone supposed to save up for a $750,000 starter home that comes with a $20,000 tax bill? They can't. And the reality is, for a lot of people who have bought, they're realizing that they can't afford it, so they're trying to sell. In Austin, Texas, 4.2% of homeowners are upside down. In Cape Coral, Florida, it's 7.8%. Foreclosures are up 14% from 2024. Sellers are removing their listings because they don't want to go below what they initially paid. We can see it on this listing. On Google Trends, sell my house keeps trending, and a top related query is sell my house fast. People aren't just casually listing their homes, they need out of their mortgage.
The economy got so bad, bro, we about to sell the house. The house is paid for, but there's still bills, there's still taxes, there's still maintenance on the house. And light bill was $450. The water bill this month was $250. And it ain't nothing but two of us in this house. Get a trailer, man. Go buy a little small land in Tennessee somewhere, man. We can't do this city no more, man. It's getting hard.
And if it's this bad for people who are still working, imagine the people on a fixed income who have retired. If a senior bought a home for $200,000, paid it off over 30 years, and that home is now valued at $2 million, they owe taxes on a $2 million asset, even though they've never owned $2 million. They're on a fixed income, and when they can't pay, the state can and does foreclose. Adults over 65 are now the fastest growing homeless demographic in the country.
Congratulations on paying off your house. Thank you. I finally own my home. I love that for you. I'll pay property taxes. For what? For owning the home. But I already paid for the home. Yes. That was for the structure. And the land? That's rented. For who? Us. For how long? Forever. And if I stop paying, we take the house. But I bought it. Correct. And now you maintain it for us. So this is renting. No. This is home ownership. So what did I actually buy? A lifetime subscription with surprise price increases.
But if you can't afford a traditional home, there are alternatives, modular or manufactured homes built in a factory. It's the next layer down in the funnel. For years, this was considered a real path to affordable home ownership. Today, over 20 million Americans live in manufactured homes. There were over 26,000 shipments in the first quarter of 2025 alone. That's up nearly 8% from 2024. But the average cost of a new manufactured home is now $109,000. Multi-section homes, the larger ones, are on average $164,000. But that doesn't include land. You need somewhere to put it. And just like everything else, land prices are skyrocketing. Many people place their manufactured home on a rented lot. You own the home, but you rent the small plot of land underneath it. Just like how billionaires are buying up all the single-family homes, they're also buying these manufactured home lots. 23 private equity firms now own more than 1,900 manufactured home parks with over 400,000 land lots. They're becoming landlords, literally.
Paul Bojanic owns his manufactured home, but rents the lot it sits on in the Copper Sun 55 and up community. This summer, he got a notice.
Oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack.
That his rent would be increasing to market value from roughly $600 to over $1,100.
I couldn't believe the amount of money that it's gone up. I mean, we're a community of retirees, people with disabilities.
Moving a manufactured home costs between $5,000 and $15,000, with many of these homes being too old to actually move. So people become trapped. And when they can't pay and they need to leave, guess who buys their home? The same people who trapped them. According to investors, it's become one of the highest returning assets in real estate because of one simple truth. People have nowhere else to go. But it gets worse. Clayton Homes controls over 50% of the manufactured home market, and they're owned by none other than Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. But Berkshire didn't just buy the factory, they bought the entire pipeline. Clayton builds the homes. Vanderbilt Mortgage and 21st Mortgage, both Berkshire subsidiaries, finance the loan. Home First Agency, another subsidiary, sells the insurance. And Berkshire has investments in companies that are buying the land underneath the home. These people manufacture the home, they finance it, they insure it, and when people can't pay, they take it back. One company owns the entire life cycle from factory to foreclosure. The CFPB is currently suing Vanderbilt. They allege Vanderbilt handed out mortgages knowing people couldn't pay. In one case, their own calculations showed a family of 5 would have $57 left in monthly income after the mortgage payment. Just $57, and they approved the loan anyway. So these people are going into debt for these homes, and look at what they're getting.
So let this be your daily reminder to never buy a Clayton home. They use what they apparently call conjoleum. They tried to tell us that it was an upgraded version of linoleum. So this is particle board. This is the floor, and I'll just show you. This is literally that. Like, look how thin that is.
Imagine being so excited to find your first home, and just months after moving in, it is covered in mold. It is a 2022 manufactured home, modular home, whatever you want to call it, a trailer. We went through Clayton Homes, and instantly we started having issues.
If you are considering getting a mobile home, please, please, please do not buy Clayton. This problem right here has been fixed 3 times. It's actively raining outside, like heavy thunderstorm, and this has had to cut the power to my stove. Like, I can't even cook right now.
So I was contracted to work on this mobile home. I had to replace some of the vinyl. I was surprised at what's under the vinyl. There is no plywood. There's this cardboard. And under that cardboard is the insulation. And on the side of the insulation is the sheetrock. That's something. I've never seen a structure that you live in that didn't have OSB minimum on the exterior of the structure. This is some of the cheapest stuff. This is cheap. You're living in a cardboard house.
I'm not here to shame anyone for purchasing a manual.
And the devil has it set up now to where, everything that's newer, is built, all right, cheap, from cars to houses to phones, anything that's made newer, it's all about profit now. Quality's out the window. He's conditioned people to be such a consumer, to get the latest, that people don't care about quality. People care about the latest now. People trade in, mobile homes to get a newer motor home. People trade in cars and then pay for it to get newer cars. So people are so consumer minded that he's all about, profit. Okay, he doesn't care about any quality. Man, there was a time when products used to have, a quality to it, but now everything, is profit based, man. Okay, and poorly made. That's why the scriptures speak about the different kingdoms. You have the head of gold, all right, the arms of silver, all right, the thighs of brass, okay, the legs of iron, and then, all right, the feet of iron and clay. Each metal became inferior, man. Because each kingdom became inferior in quality, man. Okay, and now we're in the time of the 10 toes, man. So this is a very inferior kingdom, man. You know, the way this man builds, okay, the products, okay, the infrastructure of the kingdom itself, man, is poorly built, okay, because this devil is all about profit, man. You know, but everything that because this devil, he's just buying these billionaires buying up everything, man. They're buying all the RV companies, they're buying all the mobile home companies, they run the banks, they run this man just, you know, everything you can think of, man. The car industry, the parts, the this, the that, everything you can think of, this man is buying it and watering it down just for profit, man. This is a very low quality kingdom, man. Okay, this is a goddamn paper kingdom that this man is running. Okay, so let's play a little more of this.
Manufactured home, but I will shame this quality. People think they're buying an affordable housing option when in reality, just like so many products today, it's built as cheaply as possible and sold at the highest possible price. When owning a traditional home is out of reach, what's left? Social media calls it van life. We need to call van life what it actually is. It's displacement. Over 480,000 Americans now live in RVs full time. That's double the 2021 figure. And the crazy part, it used to be that manufactured home production outpaced RV production by 18%, but that's no longer the case. RV production now outpaces manufactured homes by a ratio of 4-1. And remember Berkshire Hathaway? They own Clayton Homes and the mortgage companies. Well, they also own 3 of the largest RV brands in the US. The pattern is simple. Make traditional homes unaffordable, buy up the alternatives, and then make those unaffordable as well. They understand that when rent is astronomical, we will look for alternative living solutions, and they've already bought them. And as a result, RV living is becoming more expensive than living in a house.
People keep asking me how much does it cost for us to live full time up here in North Dakota in our RV. Rent cost is only $545 a month, and then we also have to pay for our trailer, which is part of our debt, which is $1,050 a month for that payment, and then my husband's truck payment is $1,000. Our insurance for both of our cars is $429, and our trailer insurance is $97. We also pay $60 for Wi-Fi. We pay $192 for our phones and then $100 for subscriptions. Between food and gas, we're spending around $1,000 a month. We spend around $80 a month on laundry, which brings our total to $4,553 a month to live in this RV.
So after the truck payment, the RV payment, and various expenses, $4,500 to live in an RV. I don't know about you, but that does not sound very affordable to me. But it's only going to get worse.
And a lot of you Americans are poor decision makers as well. Okay, so how the hell your truck no more than your rent? Like what type of truck you got? But that's you stupid simple as Americans, and it's good. The Lord said He will put over you Americans a cruel Lord. Okay, you see where's Jesus? All right, when you Jesus believe, where's Jesus in the midst? What does Jesus have to say about this? Okay, you simple Americans, man. All right. And I said, this is just the beginning, man. This is why people are going to be begging for their seat here. Okay, you think the devil, offers, housing, for this seat here, that people ain't gonna jump to it, man. Because he wants to create an atmosphere of desperation, man. Okay, and no matter how bad, all right, your government, all right, these corporations do you people, okay, you're gonna bow down. Okay, and you're open, to take, all right, anything that they got to give you, man, for some type of relief. Okay, so let's play this a little more.
Woody Lifestyle Properties now owns more than 200 RV resorts and campgrounds across the US and Canada, over 91,000 sites. They're not building these campgrounds for families to go on vacation. They're building them because people have nowhere else to go. And this isn't me speculating, this is in their own SEC filings. We believe millennial and Gen Z demographic will contribute to our future long-term customer pipeline. They then go on to talk about a study, and the conclusion of the study was that demand from millennial and Gen Z would continue to outpace supply for manufactured home and RV communities. It then goes on to say, the entitlement process to develop new manufactured home and RV communities is extremely restrictive. As a result, there have been limited new communities developed in our target demographic markets, meaning it's hard for other companies to develop communities, so therefore we have to live in theirs, and they are going to jack up the prices.
Come with us as two 19-year-olds turning a shed into our home.
Back here is where the bathroom is going to be. This is going to be the laundry room. Right here will be like the kitchen, the stove. I'm going to have like a little island. And then over here, the living room.
And this right here is actually a tiny home, tough shed from Home Depot, 2 stories, 860 square feet, 1 bedroom, full kitchen, full living room.
When everything becomes unaffordable, you get people buying storage sheds from Home Depot and converting them into homes. That's how desperate things have gotten. Here's one on Home Depot's website right now. A build-it-yourself kit, 10 by 12 feet, $3,343. It's clearly a shed, but look at the description. The Windmere has shed DNA, but begs to be more than a storage shed. They know exactly who's buying these and what they're doing with them. And the reviews confirm it. People are converting these into tiny homes, adding plumbing, electricity. It's the new affordable option. And they're now building these sheds to look more like house than shed. They come with windows and upstairs, siding, the works. Looking at this, it made me wonder, is private equity involved in the shed industry? And I don't know why I thought the answer could be anything other than, of course they are. Cyprium Partners made a $30 million investment in backyard products, and by 2017, their COO was bragging that they were producing more storage sheds than anyone in North America. And he specifically noted that accessory dwelling units were an emerging category. Even in 2017, they noticed people converting these sheds into living spaces and thought, let's capitalize on that. That Home Depot shed I just showed you, it's one of 7 brands owned by Backyard Products, the same company that received private equity backing. Billionaires are buying up every affordable housing alternative, things that arguably shouldn't even count as alternatives in the first place. So what are people supposed to do? Be homeless? No, because the Supreme Court made that illegal in 2024. So then it's the for-profit prisons, the $4 billion industry where private equity is already.
Only thing left is the nukes, man. You know, you Americans have nothing to look forward to live for. It's over. All this college and, you know, all these American dreams and American pastimes, and it's over. Okay? Esau, Edom, these billionaires, all right, have absolutely full control, okay, of the American population. All right? Your government, okay, has been bought off, and they don't give a damn what these billionaires do with you, man. Okay? And all you people, you know, you love to post, you know, what you're doing on YouTube, and they looking at that, and then they just go buy the whole industry. You know, you post your shed, your tiny homes, and what do? They go buy their whole industry and make that unaffordable too. Okay? These niggas not gonna stop, man, until the Lord, okay, intervenes, man. And this is why, you know, we're just waiting on our power, you know, because we in the midst of it too. We catch hell. We got our, you know, ups and downs and shortcomings. You know, we in the mix, okay? Hey, but we all right. Hey, the Lord look out for us, man. You know, hey, you know, everybody got their different situation, but we got what we need to endure to the end. You know, we got enough for the day, you see? And we know, all right, that the Lord is getting ready to stop this nigga, man. So let's go here. Okay, let's go here, man. All right, we know our power, you know, is finna send you our shot back, you know, to wage a war, okay, against the devil, man. You see, and the elect is finna be delivered. Okay, let's go here. Let's go to St. John 10 and 10. The scripture tell you about this nigga and what he's about. St. John 10 and 10. It said, the thief coming not but for to steal, to kill, and destroy. That's all he's about. You know, he's looking at more ways to poison the food. Oh, y'all eating that now? Let me go buy that whole industry and poison it. Oh, y'all found another healthy alternative. Let me go buy all that and poison it. Oh, y'all got alternative living, affordable living. I'm gonna go buy all that and poison it. Okay, this is the mindset of this nigga, man. That's all he's about. Okay, the earth has an Edomite problem. So-called white man needs to be removed from power completely, man. That's the solution. Phase one, this nigga removed from power completely. Okay, then he's put into captivity, and then he's done away with forever, man. It said, a thief coming not but for to steal and kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, that they might have it more abundantly, man. And this is gonna be our shot, man. You know, he's coming to bring abundance, man. You know, beginning with his people, all right, because like we're gonna enjoy abundance at the top as rulers, man. Okay, with Yahweh shot, and we're gonna enjoy abundance as a people, man. You know, we're just gonna have, big families, big palaces, big estates, properties, okay, fields of slaves. Okay, we're gonna enjoy abundance at the return of Yahweh shot, and it's all gonna be in righteousness, man. You know, not the 1,000 years, you heathens, you will get a piece of that abundance, man, because it's gonna be so much. Okay, you're not gonna be part of the covenant. You're not gonna have spiritual powers. Okay, you're not gonna have nowhere near the substance and abundance we got, but we're gonna have so much abundance, man. A little piece of our abundance, you'll be far better than this. Okay, than this madness, man. You see? So let's go here. Because the solution to Esau, man, is just to get this nigga out of here, man. Okay? This nigga gotta go. All right? This is the book of Joel, chapter 18, and verse 7. I started 16. It says, his root shall be dried up beneath, and above his branch shall be cut off. And this is this man being completely rooted out the earth, man. Okay? Because if you dig up a tree from his roots and cut off his branches, then that tree not coming back. Okay? It said, verse 17, it says, his remembrance shall perish from the earth. Okay? And he shall have no name in the street. Okay? So Esau is going to be blotted out as a nation, man. He's going to be removed from power. Okay? This nigga going to go into hardcore bondage, and he's going to be so far away from civilization, man, and captivity, because he's going to be in the mines, and he's going to be mostly under the earth working, man. He's going to be way out there, man. Okay, mining and gathering resources, man. Okay, and then he's going to be gathered at the end of that 1,000 years, and they're going to just be burnt out of existence, man. Okay, so he shall be driven from light to darkness and chased out of the world. He shall neither have son nor nephew among his people, nor any remaining in his dwelling. They that come after him shall be astonished, all right, at his day, and they that went before him, all right, and they that went before him were affrighted. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not the Most High, man. This is a wicked nigga, man. Okay, that knoweth not the Most High. All right, this devil is everything that the Lord hates, man. Okay, and he's absolutely the worst qualified to be a ruler of anything, man. You see, well, there comes a time when this nigga gonna be chased out the earth, literally, man. Okay, completely eradicated out the earth, man. Okay, because this nigga has just been an absolute demon in power, man. A relentless demon. You see, so that's the point. Lord will, you brothers and you sisters edify once again. We give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, and hopefully